Hi everybody, I'm just going to wait for everybody to join. My name is Sonia and I'm your International United Miss North Carolina Preteen. Welcome to my new episode of my live series, Inspire, Unite, Motivate, I.U.M, through which I aim to inspire everybody, unite all of the change makers of the world, and motivate everybody to make a difference in their communities and in the world. So I see that our special guest has joined. Hello, hello. I see more people joining. Thank you so much for taking your time and being here today. Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So thank you so much for being here today. It's an absolute honor to be here on live with you. So for some of the audience members who may not know you, do you want to just start off by introducing yourself?
Yes, my name is Brandi Jo Middleton, and I'm the reigning International United Miss. Only just for a few more days. I'm really sad. I'm excited to get to meet you at internationals and everybody else. I'm just really sad. No, none of us want to give up our titles, but we're excited for the week of internationals.
I completely understand. It's going to be so bittersweet for you, but I am super pumped for internationals. I just
Yes.
there. I've been looking forward to being at internationals since I was crowned. So it's so surreal that it's so close now. So we are here today to talk about all things service related. And I saw that you do so many things, but your main platform, I'll call it, is Crowning Confidence by
Mhm.
Brandi Jo. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Crowning Confidence was actually started outside of the pageant world. I started that when actually was not competing. That was when I was going through a really deep, dark place in my life. I had just overcome postpartum depression, and I was 100 pounds overweight and really battling with my health and my heart issues. And I had to do something to transform. And I completely transformed myself, and people started asking what I was doing. And people asked, wanted me to help them and coach them. And so that's why I developed Crowning Confidence for myself, but then I turned around and shared it with others since 2016, and it's just kind of taken off since then. And then when I got back in the pageant world, I really got out there in my community with it more, because as you know, being a pageant girl, it gives you just an extra step to be able to network with other people.
I agree completely. Being in pageants really helps you take your mission to the next level because you just get to network and talk with so many more people. And it's not only like your sister queens, like I'm a preteen, but I get to talk even with this live series with so many people of various ages, and it's so inspiring to hear their stories. So what is your main mission with Crowning Confidence?
So my main mission is to teach everybody the power of their words that they say over themselves, and how to truly have confidence, and not only just teach them, but give them tools and resources on how to develop that skill every day for the rest of their life.
I love that. That's really inspiring. And I also read that you do workshops
Mm-hmm.
with confidence. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so I have my workshops related to whatever age that I'm teaching. I can teach it from little babies all the way up to women in their 90s. I specifically really love to go and teach it at beauty schools, because that's where my background is from, is in the beauty industry. And I've also able to just change my workshops. I give them tools and resources. I cater it and I customize it to everybody that I'm talking to. So it's kind of hard to kind of put it into words. It just depends on what I'm teaching and where I'm teaching at on the workshops, because I have different workshops that I develop for the curriculum that I'm teaching in different age groups.
That is really inspiring because I know, being like a school age person myself, I've seen various different speakers come in and they talk about all things from poetry to confidence to
Mm-hmm.
building. And it's just really awesome because it really changes your mindset like right away, because the next day you go to school, you're all of those things are whirring in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
especially going to the same place that they were. And it really helps you in your day-to-day life, whether it's academically, socially. And I love that that is your mission and you are able to do that. So I saw that you use social media to promote your community service, which is awesome. You get to reach so many people because people are on social media all the time. So do you have any tips on that, and how do you manage that?
It's something that I do every day in my business. I sell makeup online. I've been with my company Unique for the past almost 9 years. So there's something that I just know like the back of my hand. I trained in it. I know social media. I know how to use it in network. And so my biggest advice is just stay consistent and show up daily. If you're really serious about no matter what you're doing, if you're doing anything outside of the pageant world or with the pageant world, if you're serious about what you're doing and your mission in life, then you need to show up every day and be consistent, because consistency will pay off. And that's the number one rule I can teach people on social media, is just to show up. Because even if only one person is watching you and you feel like that, because we all want to compare ourselves to influencers out there. An influencer is like winning the lottery. It's very rare that people will become an influencer, but you can influence that one person, and all it takes is one person to change their life. And so don't get wrapped up on how many views you get, how many likes you get. That's not the point. The point is to make a difference in just one person's life.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned being consistent, because I think that's not only important with social media, it's important in life. Like if you want to get grades going into the future, if you want to be good at your job, if you want to be good at anything, actually, you have to be consistent, and you have to just keep working on your skills, keep trying. And it does really take one person, because word of mouth is so like influential. Because I know, like for me with my community service projects, I've mentioned this a couple times, but just talking with my friends, it starts a whole chain, because then that one friend will go to people you don't even know but are their friends, and it just travels around. And it just took that one person to make a difference, because then everyone starts getting involved in what you're doing, and that's so powerful.
Yes.
So you have been able to take your platform to the next level, whether it's through networking or social media like we just talked about. So do you have any tips on, like, if people want to grow or expand their platforms but they don't know how? Do you have any tips for that?
My biggest tip is just stay consistent and don't be afraid to ask. It never hurts to ask. And it just takes one person. Like you said earlier, it's just getting in front of the right person, and they can actually help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need help. Reach out, reach out in the pageant community, because especially in the I.U.M system, I will say everybody is very, very nice and helpful. And so don't be afraid to reach out and really hone in on the Sisters by Sash, because all it takes is just a few queens getting together to make a big difference in this world. And so reach out to one of your fellow sister queens and they will help you as well.
Yes, it can feel kind of scary to reach out with your sister queens. And that's something that it's so amazing to see, all these bonds, all the sister queens that have this, like the international queens. It's so amazing to see. But when you're like newly crowned and you don't really know anybody, it's kind of difficult, because you kind of are scared to reach out to other people, to reach out with your sister queens. But as time goes on and you become comfortable with them, it can be so amazing the things that we can accomplish if we unite and work together. So definitely reaching out to people in the pageant world, that's great advice. So I also read that you're the co-founder of Kindness Corner. So what is that? Do you want to just like
So Kindness Corner started right when, after COVID happened. That first couple months, we all saw how people were not being nice to each other on social media. I saw it, I felt it. And hold on one second. Momhood. Yes. No, go. I'm on the live. Okay, good job. We're still homeschooling, by the way. So he just had to tell me he was finished school today. But back to Kindness Corner. We saw an influence, or a massive kind of surge of people just being really unkind to each other on social media, and a lot of bullying. And it was happening to me. It was happening to one of my dear friends from another pageant system. And we decided to come together. We were talking one day and I said, we've got to do something. And so we developed Kindness Corner. She's backed away from it this past year. So I basically have taken it over, and I post things that just remind us to be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. There have been many people this year that have not been kind to me. I deal with it almost on the daily. And it's hard. Even as an adult, it's very hurtful, people's words and actions. So I constantly remind people on Kindness Corner to be mindful of how you treat others, and just share tips on that. It's on Facebook. It's a business page called Kindness Corner. But I also invite any queen from any system, if they want to read a book about kindness or a poem, they can do so on their title page, and then I'll share it on Kindness Corner to help them and get what they're doing out in the community as well.
I love that. That is very awesome. And I love that you took action because a lot of the times we see all these things going on. Sometimes we may get these awesome ideas and we're like, I'm going to be consistent with it. And it just never happens because we don't take action
Mhm.
on about. Like, we have all these great ideas and it happens not just with platforms like we're talking about, but it happens in general. So it's really important to put it into action. And I think a reason why some people don't do it is because they're scared that it won't work out, it
Mhm.
won't happen. But like you said earlier, it's okay to reach out, talk to people, network, and just make your dreams a reality. So somebody is asking in the audience, what tips would you like to give to preteens and teenagers about feeling comfortable in your own skin and just being confident in general?
My biggest tip, and what I witnessed, especially in your age group, going to all these schools this year and talking to your age group, is the comparison game, especially on social media. And we all fall into that trap. But my biggest advice, don't compare yourself on social media to your other friends or your classmates, because people are only going to put, most people, I'm different because I'll put it all out there on social media, but most people will only show the positive things that are happening, or what they want people to see, and it's not always reality. So you can't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy, and that's the one thing that will destroy a young girl's confidence in themselves. So when you can learn that your journey, no matter what you're doing, if it's pageants, if it's school, if it's cheer, if it's sports, your journey is unique to yours, and what's meant for you will never pass you by. Going into this pageant, whoever's meant to win preteen, it's going to happen. It's God's will. And so you have to take that pressure off yourself and be the best version of yourself. And whatever's meant to be will always happen. And don't compare your journey to anybody else's journey, because you have different gifts and values that other people don't have.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. And it's so funny that you said the comparison game because I think it happens a lot more than people realize. And with social media, especially in my age group, it's mostly like kids my age will showcase their accomplishments because they want to multiply that joy. They want to share that they've done something great with the world. But mostly nobody, maybe some people in my age group, will share about the sad things that happen in their life. And it's so easy, like you said, to feel like their life is perfect and mine isn't, but everyone's fighting a battle that you know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something going on in their life that you don't know about. And it's so easy to do, especially with your friends. Like, you're great friends, you hang out, but you can feel that sometimes. Like, they have such a great life and I want that life. But it's important to realize that, like you said, what is meant for you will never pass you by. And everyone has their challenges. So
Yeah.
why do you think promoting kindness is important? We already touched on it a little bit, but in general, why do you think it's important?
We need kindness more than ever right now. I lost my mom May the 16th tragically, and I've had people show so much kindness to me, and I've had people be extremely rude to me. And I'm dealing with depression through all this. And I'm speaking from experience. When somebody is unkind and somebody is already dealing with depression, it can set them over the edge. And I'm tired of seeing young girls, I'm tired of adults getting hurt. So kindness it needs to be taught. It needs to be taught at such an early age. And that's why I love to see everybody in the pageant community really rally around each other and help each other's platform, because the more kindness that we can educate at an early age, the better our world is going to be. Right now, people are so stressed out and concerned about what's happening in our world. I think they forget that it costs nothing to be kind. And there's little things that you can do. Sending a personal message to somebody when they're having a bad day, just saying, hey girl, I'm thinking about you, I'm checking on you. I noticed that maybe you look sad today at school. You know, especially for your age group, if you see somebody sitting alone at school, if you see somebody at a summer camp, go up to them and talk to them. That one act of kindness can make a huge difference in somebody's life, and they will remember that. They won't remember some of the things physically or money that they might, give somebody or gifts, but what people will remember is how you treated them and your words. And words are free, messages are free. And so I just challenge everybody to, what are some of the things that you can do to be kind today to somebody else? Maybe it's just even commenting on somebody, saying, hey, I love your hair today, or I love your outfit. That little acts of kindness go a long way in our world.
It's really important to start young. You said you talked about education and everything, and that is really true because when you start young, you realize that when they grow up, they're going to educate other people, and it's really important to be a role model in your community. A lot of the times people are being kind and they remember everything they've been taught, but they forget that there are people watching them constantly, whether they're young or old, and especially in pageantry with a shiny crown on your head and a sash, it's important to realize that people are always going to be watching you. So you should set a positive example, especially for like younger sister queens or younger contestants who are going to look up to you. So I completely agree with that. On a little bit of a lighter note, what is your favorite kindness related quote?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. The one that I love the most is, it costs nothing to be kind. Because a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, I really want to do something, but I don't have extra money. Well, it costs nothing to be kind. Words are so powerful. And if you can just remember that, if you want to do something for somebody, seriously, pick up the phone, text them, send them a private message, say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Few little words can make such a big difference. So just remember that if you want to do something kind, it costs nothing to be kind and to share just some positive words with somebody.
Words are really powerful, and it's amazing the impact that they can have, whether it's a really good impact or a not so good impact. And people say things all the time without thinking, and it's really important to think about what you're saying. And I know this has been said so many times to like younger kids, especially in schools, but a lot of the times, even adults, they don't actually think about it. But it's really important to think about how you would feel if someone said that to you. It really in perspective. And if you realize that you would feel really bad if someone said that to you, you have to remember that you shouldn't be spreading that hate or spreading that negativity in the world. So I already touched on this a little bit when someone asked about it in the comment section. But if someone's going through like a hard time, what are your tips for people of all ages to stay positive and kind of look on the bright side during that?
So right now I'm going through a really difficult time in my life. Like I said, I tragically lost my mother unexpectedly in May, in the middle of my reign, or getting towards my reign. And it's been hard. Some of the things that I'm doing right now, I'm not going to cover up that I'm sad or depressed. So my biggest advice, if you are struggling and you're feeling like you can't be positive, reach out to somebody. You need to express what you're feeling. That's number one. Number two is doing things to self-care, self-love. If it's just taking time to watch one of your favorite shows on Netflix, or a movie, or taking a hot bath, or reading your favorite book, you've got to do something to bring you some joy daily. And the third is be around positive people. So somebody in your life is a positive influence on you. Reach out to them, because their positive energy is going to reflect on you.
Yeah.
Because as you know, you start, if you're around a lot of negative people, that will come across to you eventually. But put yourself around people that you look up to, that are role models, that are positive influence on you, and be kind to yourself. And always remember, it's okay to not be okay sometimes, but it's not okay not to say that, to reach out to somebody. So when you're having a bad day or you're feeling sad, reach out to somebody and let them know, or let people know on Facebook so they can pray for you and be there for you. I think the one thing that I'm happy to see the past year is mental health. The stigma behind it is starting to it's okay to say that you're struggling. I think in the past, when I was growing up, I had 2 different eating disorders, and I wasn't allowed to tell people. I had to cover it up, and because mental health wasn't talked about like it is in this generation. So please, reach out to people that can help you, that been there and can walk with you hand in hand.
Yeah, and if you bottle up all those feelings, they can sometimes come out with like negative words, spreading negativity, and without realizing it, you're becoming that negative influence that you don't want to be around. And it just stems from the fact that you haven't reached out and you're not talking about it. And a lot of the times, again, coming back to this, it's because you're scared and you don't know what people are going to say if you express that. But like you said, it's okay not to be okay. And surrounding yourself with positive people and really respecting yourself. Respecting other people is talked about so much, but a lot of the times it's easy to forget that you are also a person and you need to respect yourself, because it's way easier to put yourself down than to put someone else down.
Mm-hmm.
Think that it then after you are negative with yourself, then you just become this all around negative person, and it can really impact the other people in your life too. And like we were talking about mental health is so important. And again, I'm so glad that in my generation we're able to talk about it so freely, because it's really important to get rid of the stigma that is surrounding it. So another project I saw you do is you're a fairy godmother for Cinderella's Closet. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that started back in the 2000. I had an opportunity to start collecting dresses, and I fell in love with that because I'm a Disney girl. I love Cinderella. And I thought, oh my gosh, I love this. So I started collecting all these dresses and was able to donate them to girls in need and women in need. Not only dresses, but interview dresses, interview outfits for them to actually go and interview for a job, people that are coming out of abusive relationships, or young girls who can't afford pageants or can't afford a pageant dress or go to prom. So I'm able to collect dresses from all over the world and distribute them to people in need. And that's been so fun to be a fairy godmother.
A nice dress can really impact a girl, because when you feel confident in what you're wearing, you feel confident in yourselves, and it really reflects when you're talking to people like in an interview, or you're just all around networking with people, and it makes such an amazing impact on people's lives. And I think it's really incredible that you're able to do that, because you're like a real life fairy godmother for a bunch of Cinderellas around the world. So I think that's really incredible. So how has being an international title holder really allowed you to largen your impact, because you do all this amazing work, but you're able to take it to the next level as an international title holder? So how is that? How have you been able to make your impact larger?
Since the moment I was crowned, I have done something every day with my title, because this is such a special gift that I truly treasure and I value. And I knew that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me. So I had a plan and I stuck with my plan, and God opened up many doors for me that wouldn't have been open if I hadn't had this title. And just showing up, like I said in the beginning, and being consistent and knowing and putting your passions out there, because other people want to join you and want to help propel you to where you need to go in life. And so it's been so much fun being an international title holder, and just really, I've been able to connect to a lot of different countries too on social media, because after I got crowned, COVID hit again. So that kind of messed up my little bit of my plans, but I wasn't going to stop me from making the most of my reign this year.
I love that you had a plan, because a lot of the times, and especially that you stuck with it, because a lot of the times we make all these plans and we're like, this is going to be amazing. And then we just forget them. They go out the door after the things we want come true. So it's really important to stick with your plans. And I love that, again, you were consistent with that. So that's really inspiring and something to keep in mind in general with our day-to-day lives. So how has International United Miss been able to support you in your missions?
Oh my goodness, I can't say enough great words about Holly and Christine in the International United Miss organization. They will always be my biggest cheerleaders and supporters in life. The love that they give, not only to me and my Queen sisters, but to everybody. The national state winners, the national winners coming in, at large title holders, they want the best for everybody. And just having their love and support and guidance throughout this year has meant the world to me. I can't say enough about them. But this is one thing about this system, that it's not a competition. Everybody is out to be the best versions of themselves, and that's what they truly want from every contestant. And that's why we are, hashtag Proud Homo Sisters by Sash, is because we all support each other. And like I said, everybody bonding together and getting their platforms out there together has made such a big impact, not only, in the United States, but all around the world. And that's why we've made a name for ourselves. International United Miss has made such a name for themselves in this organization because of the power of the sisterhood behind it.
I love that. So you talked a lot about sister queens. So what are some ways that your sister queens have been able to support you in your missions?
Um, Honestly, they have helped just love on me this year. They have been there at some of the darkest times in my life, and that's what I needed the most, is just their guidance and their love and their hugs and their support, and knowing that they're with me through everything that I've been through this year. We've all bonded so much because we've traveled so much this year together, but through the dark time in my life in May, so many were there with me, and I felt their love, I felt their prayers, and that's what pushed me through. And just the love and support that they give me, and there is none of that competition mess. It's not, ooh, who's the best queen? It's none of that. It's, wow, like, yay, like, let's help each other. If you need help with a post idea, here's, I'm helping them and they're helping me. So that's what I love so much about the bond that we've all created.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sister Queen. I've been able to see it even through a screen. It's so clear how much you've bonded, and seeing you guys on social media, it is so like you can see it. You can see the bond even through a screen. So I love that. What has been your favorite memory while serving your community?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I think this year, the favorite memory, I was principal for a day at a middle school. That was fun. So I was asked to be the principal for a day, and they had me go into the guidance counselor's office, and I had to speak to two girls who were bullies to each other, real bad. And I was kind of intimidated, but I had to spend an hour with them, and we were back and forth on kindness, respect. Why are you acting the way you are? And I feel like I made a lot of breakthroughs with them. A lot of it came from lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence. And they felt like if they put each other down, it would make them feel better. So I really worked with them, and I was asked to be able to come back in the fall. So even without a title, I'm going to be able to come back and still work my platform and work in that school to help middle school girls to really have the confidence that they need to stop being bullies to each other.
First off, that is so cool, because I'm a middle schooler, and I feel like it is so cool that you got to be a principal there for a day. So I continue pageants, which I probably will, because I love them. Yes. That's an opportunity that I would seriously kill for. That's so cool. So how has doing community service helped you stay positive?
I love giving back in the community. It helps me. It brings more joy to my heart. I feel I just love serving and giving back to my community, and that's been so much fun to know that to get the messages like, thank you so much for coming and speaking, or thank you so much for what you said. What you said really made a difference in my life. Those messages give me hope and give me strength, because it's time consuming doing a lot of community service. It costs us money, right? Like gas prices, and sometimes you're like, am I really making a difference? And then when you get that one message saying, wow, like, thank you so much, that's what pushes me. That's what keeps me going, wants me continue to get out in my community more. With or without a title, I will always do community service, and that's something that I teach my little boy, that it's so important to give back and to share, because God has given us a servant's heart, and that's we're being his hands and feet, and we need to get out in the community and serve others.
You have done so many incredible projects, and like I said before, they're very inspiring. So if any of the audience members watching right now or the live replay wanted to get involved in any of the projects you do, how can they do so?
Yeah, just send me a private message. I'm not going to have this title page much longer, unfortunately. Not internet. I'll have to pass it on to my successor. But you can find me on my personal Instagram, Brandi Jo Middleton, or Crowning Confidence by Brandi Jo on Instagram, or on Facebook, Brandi Jo Middleton over there. You can email me at mbrandijo@outlook.com, or send me a private message, and I would love to partner up with you. Anything that I can do to help anybody out there, just let me know. But I'm always open to teaching my confidence skills to anybody. And also anybody can join my Kindness Corner movement and read and, do community service that way, or whatever I can do to help. Just send me a message.
Awesome. So our last question for today is, if anybody out there wants to start serving their communities, but they're unsure where to start, what are your tips for anybody of any age to start serving their communities?
Your best bet is going to social media. Making a post on your public page and saying, I'm open to do community service. Does anybody have anything I can do in my community? Try to start in your community. A lot of girls want to go big and go like all over the United States. Stay in your community at first, because that your community matters the most, and that your community knows you. And once you can get that down, then you can branch out. But start in your community, ask what needs to be done, even if it's, you know, going around doing a clothes drive, a book drive, a food drive. A lot of churches have food banks. That's a great place to start, you know, volunteering at food banks. And then once you get in there, you can ask, are there other things that you need help with? And everybody wants volunteers.
That is great advice for anybody out there to start serving. And I like that you said that a lot of girls want to go big, because I feel like when people start community service and they're watching all these amazing stories of how people are making even bigger impacts by branching out, they are really tempted to go do it right then and right there. But you have to take it one step at a time, like you said, and start with your community and then branch out. So thank you so much for being here today. I had a wonderful time talking with you. I'm super excited to meet you and everybody else at International. So thank you so much for taking time out here and being here today.
Oh, well, thank you so much for the honor. Cannot wait to give you a big hug. So I will see you at orientation. You'll have to come over and give me a hug, and let's take lots of pictures, okay?
Yes, that sounds awesome.
And keep up that amazing job of what you're doing too. You are doing an amazing job in your community and all around the world. And you keep on making that ripple effect, because you're shining so bright, okay?
Thank you. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye. You too. Bye.
Video frozen. Oh, okay. I think you have to X out. Everybody stay tuned on my social media, because I will be announcing pretty soon who I'll have on here next, who is changing the world one step at a time. So make sure to keep an eye out and have a great rest of your day. Bye.